video. This one is the Lake Hope Road Race. This is the Cat 5 Road Race State Championship, so it's very exciting. We're starting here on the second lap, actually a few minutes after the second lap started because I forgot to press start on the GoPro. I'm going to go over what happened in the first lap. It's really pretty simple. For most of it, nothing happened. And then there's one little steep climb, which you'll see here in a few minutes again. And I assume some people got dropped there. And then a while later, there's a second, longer climb, but also very steep. And that is where I ended up in a breakaway with like 4 other guys. I wouldn't say that that any of us were really trying to break away. It just sort of happened because one guy sprinted ahead, and we didn't want to get dropped. We didn't know if he was going to be able to hold on by himself, so we all put an effort to catch him and ended up in this breakaway. And the thing about this course is there's really only 2 parts where you might get dropped. So once we're in this breakaway, it's kind of set. I think one person or 2 people bridged up, and that's about it. The race was 2 laps and about 40 miles with maybe 2,200 feet of climbing total. Most of it is pretty gradual, but then a couple real steep parts. So I'm on the front right now, and we're actually catching... Actually, I don't know what this group is. Maybe Masters, maybe some people got dropped from the 4-5 race. I'm not sure. Notice that I'm not pulling that hard just based off the power, and that's because I really have nothing to worry about. I'm not worried about catching us because it seems like we have an enormous gap, and I don't have any incentive to try to drop anybody because my goal will be to win the sprint at the end. This kid who just passed me, his goal is to get basically into a 2-man break from this break because he does not have a sprint. I believe he's said he's a cross-country runner at OU and also a cyclist. And this guy right in front of me now, this is his first bike race. He had some trouble with his gears, unfortunately, which hurt him a little bit on the hills. So that was the one of the officials asking what race we're in because the people we just passed are sitting on our tail, just drafting off of us, which is an advantage for them. So I believe he tells them to back off a few feet and let us go. I don't know if they actually do that. So now we're turning off this main stretch, and the roads get a little bit gravelly just because of the rain, a bit of mud. You can see nobody's trying to win this race by going around corners fast because it is not worth crashing on some gravel. So I'm pretty sure the only guy in this group who is not happy with the current situation is the kid that I was talking about before. He really wants to break away description of the race, saying nobody wants to work with the skinny runner kid. So I commented and I said, exactly, the goal is for us was to win the race, and working with you doesn't help us win. So he said that he thought if the race went a couple more laps... Soccer! Sorry. Some stick just got flung up and hit his shoe and he kicked it, so I said he's playing soccer. Anyways. So... yeah, the kid thought that if the race went another couple laps, so basically twice the distance, he would have been able to drop me and a couple other people on the hills, and we would have been able to catch on and all that sort of thing. But if that was his goal, he should have done it sooner. He's clearly a strong rider. He just was in a tough crowd of riders who are not like him. The guy in front of me, you can hear his derailleur clicking. Yeah, it wasn't working. This was a great, nice group of guys. They were really good to ride with and nice to talk to after the race as well. And a couple of them are from Columbus. The guy right in front of me and the guy in front of him, they're from Columbus. So I'll see him out on some rides. Coming up to the first steep hill of the lap. The guy in front of me, he's just big, so I'm not sure how he's going to take the steep hill, so I go ahead of him just in case these guys make a move. There he goes, he's standing up. That I did not change down enough gears, and I am not going to change gears at 500 watts and 0 RPM. Here's David on my left. Hello, David. He's got the super sweet Ohio State skin suit on. It's super nice. And the very well matched blue, purple, and gray bike, and brown socks. Very stylish. The green helmet. So the guy in front, he's kind of going ahead, but from earlier, he is the one who sort of broke away on the second hill in this lap that blew up the group and created this breakaway. And from earlier, I knew that he did not want to ride by himself, so I was not about to go sprint ahead to catch him. And I was pretty confident that this kid who's in front of me now was going to do that. So he gives another little acceleration, and I think that's to play into his goal first lap was a little bit nerve-wracking because I'd seen plenty of gravel on the way there, and I didn't know what was going to be on the descent. So I wasn't sure if we were allowed to go over the double yellow here, so I didn't really want to risk that too much, but I think this section was closed to traffic. There goes David. He's just so aero in that skin suit. I pushed a little bit through that corner because David is another guy who could maybe benefit from a two-man break. He used to be a very good sprinter, but he's been focusing on time trial and triathlon so much that he's lost a little bit of that super top end. But his steady state power and it's really good. For example, we did a workout together last week, a half hour at 90% of threshold, 90% of 1 hour threshold. He was at 300 watts. I was at 230 watts. He weighs about 20 pounds more than me, so that's still a pretty big difference. Once again, I'm on the front here. I'm not really digging too deep. There's really no point for me. I'm just going to satisfy everybody else. I think everybody else is satisfying everybody else. Yeah, so that guy who just passed me, he rode really well. Unfortunately, in the last 5 miles, his tire was too flat. He thinks that he had a slow leak the whole race, caused by maybe putting his tube in not quite correctly. Not sure. But yeah, that was really unfortunate. He was the one I was, one of the two people I was most worried about. I was worried about David and I was worried about him because they have, a bit more size for the sprint. This is definitely part of the 4-5 race that we're catching up to now. And actually, based on the people that I see, I believe that is the front of the 4-5 race. So the interesting thing about this Lake Hope Championship is that the more serious riders are going to either race 5 or they're going to race 4 because it's the state championship. Racing 4-5 doesn't get you anything. So the 4-5 race was not as fast as a 4-5 race would usually be. That guy was asking, the guy with the gear problems, he was asking if I soloed from the main pack to this group. I guess he didn't realize that I was there the whole time. Which is good, I want to A low profile is good. This is the prime example of how that kid raced right in front of me. He would pull, and then he would go into the second position or third position, and then pull again, or wiggle his arm to tell you to pull. It was inexplicable to all of us why he was doing this. Once again, I hope he sees this video so that he can, tell me what he was thinking, because I really just want to know. Maybe I'll post the video under his Strava, and then he'll see the link and be able to comment. Like I said, there's really not much going on other than that first hill and the second hill that'll be coming up in a little while. So, if you didn't know, this year I joined Healthy and Happy Racing, which is a team based in Brooklyn. But then there's a section of the team in Columbus, and I joined it late last summer, so it's just ramping up now. But I really wanted to be prepared and race well with the team, so I did a lot of training and I hired a coach, and so things are going well in that regard. One of the things about being on a team is the guys are much more experienced than me. They've done a lot of races, so they've been able to give me some good tips, like don't chase moves as much. If you don't have teammates in it, get other people to chase the moves. And if I know that I have some of the better legs in the group, then when I'm on the front, I should be surging and letting up, and surging and letting up, because accelerating, so going steady state, it takes a lot less energy for the people in the back to go steady state than the people in the front that's drafting. But if you're accelerating, everybody still has to change the velocity of their mass, right? So everybody still has to output a lot of energy to accelerate. So accelerating and decelerating, that uses my energy, but it also uses the people behind me's energy when their goal is to be drafting and using very little. I didn't do much of that here. I think I just didn't think about it. I did it maybe once or twice. See? He's wiggling his arm. He cut in front, and then he didn't want to pull, so I don't know. I'm sure by next year he'll be absolutely slaughtering me, so. See? He's done pulling. Lets me through. Now I'm pulling. All good. Also, for this recording, I downloaded a MP3 recording app on my phone, so hopefully the audio is a little better. So that was maybe why he wiggled his arm. He wanted to sort of launch an attack of some sort, and he thought that I don't know. For something like that, I think you gotta pull harder and longer. he's looking at me. He's wondering, am I going to sprint out of the corner and try to drop people? No, I'm not. Because now you're not like, necessarily supposed to be nice when you're racing, whatever. But I don't want to encourage people to fly through the corners when there's like all this gravel just because they're worried that the person who went through the corner first is gonna sprint. When we're in this small group, it's not worth it. Let's just work together and enjoy a nice bike ride. Really, the weather was perfect. It started 60 degrees and cloudy, and then about halfway through the race it started warming up and the sun came out. So I brought one bottle. Just about everybody had one bottle, and that was perfect, given that you were very hydrated going into the race. That was one of the little surges that I tried to do, I think. I did think about it a couple times. Going up a hill, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's actually more pronounced going up a hill because you're going slower, so there's less of a draft. So I just did a little surge, and everybody else had to do the same surge. So it's just taxing. Takes that little bit extra out of everybody for the sprint. And I only did that because I was confident in my sprint within this group. If I was with people who I thought were really, really strong sprinters, or I knew were really strong sprinters, I probably wouldn't do that. Same deal. This one I actually do a little better. I pull over the crest of the hill. honking because one of the riders crossed the double yellow, and he was really upset about that. Listen to that cadence, it's terrible. That was, yeah, I did a bad job of managing my cadence on these really steep hills. I think I underestimated them. Now, my goal was not to break away or anything. I figured that there would be attacking, so I wanted to be in the front so that I could... Now he's talking about it. I wanted to be in the front so that if somebody attacked from behind, I would have already had a few feet up and would have more of a chance to go with it, because I wasn't that confident in my, you know, sort of three-minute power to hang on here. But lucky for me, nobody attacked. You'll hear David in a second say something about keeping up the pace, because one or two people did get sort of dropped a little bit, and he wanted to keep them dropped, basically. That was David saying, "Don't let up." And now you hear me having asthma. So when David's saying "don't let up," to me that means he feels fine. And that makes me worry that he's going to take off and try to solo the rest of the race. And if he solos the rest of the race, the three of us can't necessarily catch it. I mean, we probably could, but the question was there. So because I know how strong David is, I went around the guy in front of me to close the gap. I mean, it wasn't. I think David let up after that because he saw that we were catching him anyways. But he was definitely feeling okay. If I was riding by myself at that point, I would not be doing another 400 watt surge. I would be holding like 150 watts, trying not to pass out. But he had another surge in, and we had to stick with it. Here he goes again. He's a beast. It's totally just the skin suit, though. You know, the skin suit adds 95 watts. Unfortunately, I forgot my heart rate monitor, so you can't see the 5,000 beats per minute that I was doing up that hill. Okay, so I think I understand this move. He's probably doing 400 watts on the front, something like that, maybe 300. And at that point, it could have been enough to drop someone if they were hurting bad enough. And that would be good for him, because that's one less person he has to contend with for the sprint. Now we have this tight left-hand turn, and I'm pretty sure it was not kosher to cross the double yellow. At that point, there were cars going the other way. He did, and I don't know, I got pulled into it also. So tactically, I think he's, you know, doing the right thing for himself right now. But it would have been better to do this on the hill that we just finished. He probably weighs 20 pounds less than I do, which means he weighs 40 pounds less than David does. If he put in that same effort going up the hill, we might have not been able to hang on. I'm still struggling a little bit. Look at that cadence. Cadence washing machine. David's looking really strong. But again, it's just the skin suit, you know. The skin suit adds 200 kilojoules to your anaerobic capacity. Now, I gave up 2 social events to record for this video, so I hope you are enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Talking to myself, basically. Now, see, that truck went by. That creates a huge draft, but David's got that skin suit. He didn't even feel it. In fact, it propelled him forward. All sorts of gravel on the ground. It's awkward to ride right behind him, and it's just a little sketchy. To turn on to the final stretch, which is like, you know, 6 or 7 miles, man. Here we go. At this point, there's no reason to do anything. Now you'll see in a little bit that a while ago. So he was laying low, doing a good job.